You catch your reflection in a store window and something's off. Not your face is fine. It's the hair. It's been doing this for years. Quietly. Adding 4 to 6 years every single time you walk past a mirror and don't notice. Today I'm showing you the exact hairstyles that are aging you right now. And exactly what to ask for instead. One of these is probably sitting on your head this very second. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results, fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The length that's secretly aging your face. Here's a scene you've probably lived. You're in the chair, the stylist asks how much to take off, and you say just a trim. Year after year. Same length. Same everything. And here's what nobody tells you. Past a certain point, length itself starts working against you. Not because long hair looks bad on mature women. Because hair that hangs past the collarbone with no shape pulls everything downward. It drags at the corners of your mouth, it flattens your cheekbones, and it adds visual weight exactly where gravity is already doing enough work on its own. Most women never connect the dots here. They blame their skin, their makeup, their lighting. It's never the lighting. It's the length pulling your whole face south. So why does this happen? Because nobody tells you that hair has a job past 60, and that job is lift, not length. Your face is already losing some of its natural lift along the jaw and cheek. Long, heavy, one-length hair adds to that pull instead of fighting it. You're essentially layering gravity on top of gravity. The fix isn't cut it all off. That's the panic move, and it's the wrong one. The fix is targeted length removal at the right points. Specifically, interior layers cut from the crown down through the mid-lengths, paired with face framing pieces that hit right around the cheekbone. Ask for this exact phrase at your next appointment. I want interior layers with face framing pieces, but keep the perimeter length. That sentence alone will change how the cut sits. A second fix, especially if you're not ready to lose length at all. Request crown lift through root-directed blow-drying or a soft root perm. This lifts the very top of the head, which visually shortens the face and counteracts the downward pull without touching a single inch of length. And here's the secret almost nobody mentions. The heaviest part of your hair shouldn't sit at jaw level. Ever. That's the exact spot where it drags the eye to the heaviest, most tired-looking part of the face. Ask your stylist to remove weight specifically at jaw level and redistribute it higher, toward the cheekbone and crown. Here are the swaps, named exactly. Before, one-length hair past the collarbone with all the weight sitting at jaw level. After, interior layering from crown to mid-length with face framing pieces, and weight redistributed upward. Before, flat roots with no lift. After, root-directed drying for instant crown lift. Before, heavy ends dragging the mouth corners down. After, point cut, feathered ends that move and catch light instead of just hanging there. Upkeep is simple. Ask your stylist to check your interior layers every 8 to 10 weeks, because they grow out faster than the perimeter and lose their lift first. But length isn't even the biggest offender. There's a color mistake almost every silver-haired woman makes without realizing it. And it's doing more damage to how old you look than any haircut ever could. Part 2. The color placement that's washing you out. Flat. All over color. The same single shade from root to tip. Refreshed every 6 weeks because that's just what you do. I watched a woman in a salon chair last week. Stunning bone structure, perfect posture. And her colorist kept painting the exact same flat tone over and over. She kept asking him to just touch up the gray. She had no idea that single request was quietly aging her by years every single visit. Here's the real reason flat color ages you. And it has nothing to do with the gray itself. Skin loses some of its natural radiance and contrast as we age. That's just biology. Flat, single-tone hair color removes the one thing that can counteract that, dimension. Without lighter and deeper pieces working together, light hits your hair the exact same way everywhere, and that uniform flatness gets read by the eye as tired. Not gray, tired. There's a difference, and it's a huge one. What changes everything is dimensional color. Specifically shadow rooting paired with subtle lighter pieces framing the face. Shadow rooting means a slightly deeper, richer tone is placed at the root, blending into lighter pieces through the mid-lengths and ends. This does two things at once. It softens regrowth lines so you're not stuck doing root touch-ups every 4 weeks. And it creates the kind of light-catching dimension that makes skin look brighter by comparison. The exact phrase to use at your next color appointment. I want shadow rooting with face-framing dimension, not all over single process color. Say it exactly like that. Colorists here touch up the gray constantly and default to flat application because that's the easy, fast answer. Saying dimensional and shadow root out loud signals you want something more intentional. A second fix if you're already fully silver or white. Ask for a gloss with a cool tone shadow root anyway. Even fully gray hair benefits from subtle tonal variation. It's not just for women still transitioning out of color. And here's something most women never know. The temperature of your color matters as much as the placement. Warm, golden-toned all-over color on mature skin can actually emphasize redness and uneven tone. A cool shot technique during your blowout, or asking your colorist for a slightly ashier base, can immediately soften that. The swaps, named exactly. Before flat, single-process color from root to tip. After, shadow rooting blended into dimensional, multitonal pieces. Before, harsh, visible regrowth line every 4 weeks. After, soft, blended root that grows out gracefully over 8 to 10 weeks. Before, warm, golden all-over tone emphasizing redness. After, cool tone gloss softening skin's overall appearance. Upkeep tip. A toning gloss every 6 to 8 weeks keeps the dimension fresh without committing you to full color appointments every month. Now the length and the color are both fixable in one visit. But the next mistake isn't something your stylist can fix at all. It's something you're doing every single morning at home, and it's undoing all of this overnight. Part 3. The styling habit: undoing everything overnight. You blow it dry the same way you have for 30 years. Round brush, pull it straight back, flat at the crown, volume at the ends. It's muscle memory at this point. You're not even thinking about it. And that's exactly the problem. Here's what's actually happening when you blow dry flat at the root, every single day for years. You're training your hair to lay flat permanently. The cuticle, the outer layer of each strand, starts to seal in that flattened direction. Over time, even a great haircut can't fight its way back to life because the hair itself has been trained out of any natural lift. This is the real reason a cut that looked incredible in the salon chair looks flat and tired by the 3rd day at home. Most women never know this, but the fix starts at the root, literally. Root-directed airflow means pointing the dryer down and against the direction of growth at the crown specifically, lifting each section with your fingers or a round brush as you go, rather than pulling everything flat and back. Just this one small shift, done consistently, retrains the cuticle to hold lift instead of fighting it. The second piece nobody mentions, the cool shot button on your dryer, isn't decorative. After you've shaped a section with heat, a 2-second blast of cool air seals the cuticle in that lifted position. Skip this step and the lift you just created starts collapsing within the hour. Use it and that same lift holds through the entire day. Here's the secret almost nobody talks about. The order you dry your hair in matters more than the brush you use. Start at the crown, not the front. Most women instinctively go straight to their face first because that's what they see in the mirror. But by the time they reach the crown, their arms are tired and the most important section gets rushed or skipped. Flip the order. Crown first while you have the most patience and precision. Face framing pieces last. And one more thing worth saying plainly, overnight habits matter just as much as morning ones. Sleeping on a flat cotton pillowcase with hair pulled into a tight, low position trains it flat while you sleep, undoing whatever lift you built during the day. A loose, high pineapple-style twist on a silk or satin pillowcase protects both the style and the actual hair strand from friction damage. The swaps, named exactly. Before, blow-drying flat at the root with the dryer aimed straight down at the crown. After, root-directed airflow against the growth direction with finger-lifted sections. Before, skipping the cool shot and losing lift within the hour. After, a 2-second cool shot sealing the cuticle in its lifted position. Before, sleeping with hair pulled flat and tight against a cotton pillowcase. After, a loose, high twist on a satin or silk pillowcase overnight. Upkeep tip. Replace your round brush every 12 to 18 months. A worn brush with flattened or melted bristles can't create lift no matter how good your technique is. So you fixed the length, the color, and the styling. But there's one more mistake, and this one isn't about your hair at all. It's about the one question you've never thought to ask your stylist, and it's the reason every other fix on this list keeps slipping away from you. Part 4. The question you've never asked your stylist. Quick question. When was the last time you asked your stylist what your face shape actually needs? Not what's trending, not what you saw on someone else, but what your specific bone structure calls for. If you can't remember, you're not alone. Almost nobody asks this. They walk in, point to a photo on their phone, and hope for the best. Here's the real reason this matters so much more after 60 than it did at 30. Your face shape hasn't changed, but the way it reads has. Bone structure that used to be balanced out by fuller skin and higher collagen now sits a little differently. Cheekbones can read sharper, jawlines can read softer, and a haircut that doesn't account for that mismatch fights your face instead of working with it. A photo from a magazine was cut for someone else's bone structure entirely. It was never going to translate the same way onto yours. This is the one nobody tells you because it sounds almost too simple. But every single fix from this video, the layering, the color, the styling, only works if it's built around your actual face shape first. Otherwise, you're applying the right techniques to the wrong blueprint. So here's what to actually do. Before your next appointment, ask your stylist this exact question. Based on my face shape, where should the visual weight of this cut sit? That single sentence does something most clients never do. It forces a conversation about your bone structure specifically, instead of defaulting to whatever's currently popular. For rounder, softer face shapes, the answer is usually cheekbone-level volume framing. Height and movement that sit right at the cheekbone to create the illusion of more defined structure. For longer, narrower face shapes, the opposite often applies. Softer, rounder volume at the jawline and chin area to add width where it's needed. For square or strong-jawed faces, disconnected layers around the face soften angles without losing the strength of the bone structure underneath. And here's a small shift that changes more than people expect. Ask to see your cut from the side and from a 3/4 angle before you leave the chair, not just straight on in the mirror. Most of how others actually see you happens from those angles, not the dead-on view you check in the bathroom mirror every morning. The swaps, named exactly. Before, walking in with a generic inspiration photo cut for someone else's bone structure. After, a direct conversation about where visual weight should sit based on your specific face shape. Before, only checking the cut straight on in the mirror. After, reviewing it from the side and 3/4 angle before leaving the chair. Before, choosing trends regardless of fit. After, choosing the framing, cheekbone volume, jaw softness, or disconnected layers that actually suits your structure. Upkeep tip. Bring up your face shape at every single appointment, even with a stylist you've used for years. Your face does shift subtly over time, and what worked 5 years ago may not be the best fit anymore. You just learned the 4 things almost nobody ever explains clearly. The length that's pulling your face down, the color placement that washes you out, the styling habit undoing your style overnight, and the one question that ties it all together. Boom! Your bone structure was always this beautiful. Now you know exactly how to work with it instead of against it. Tell me in the comments, which of these 4 were you doing without even realizing it? Next time, I'm breaking down the skincare habit that's quietly aging your hands faster than your face. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.